Yarn Chaos Challenge, smiley face emoji, yarn emoji. Last weekend, my family and I decided to pay a visit to my aunt's house for what we thought would be a typical Sunday afternoon. We were greeted with hugs, the smell of freshly baked cookies, and an unusually large number of yarn balls scattered around the living room. Aunt Linda's taken up knitting, my mom whispered to me with a knowing smile, as if this explained everything. Intrigued but not overly concerned, we settled into the cozy chaos, preparing ourselves for an afternoon of tea and chatter. As the afternoon wore on, my cousins and I noticed that Aunt Linda kept disappearing into her craft room, returning with more and more yarn. It started to feel like a never-ending parade of colors, each skein brighter and more tangled than the last. The yarn slowly began to snake across the room, connecting one piece of furniture to another. My uncle, usually unflappable, looked increasingly bewildered as he attempted to navigate the living room, tripping over strands of yarn that seemed to multiply by the minute. It wasn't long before the entire living room transformed into a woven wonderland, a labyrinth of loops and knots that left us all wondering if we'd ever make it back to the kitchen for those cookies. My cousins and I decided to turn it into a game, each trying to find the fastest route through the yarn maze without getting ensnared. Laughter filled the air as we stumbled, ducked, and zigzagged our way through Aunt Linda's unintentional masterpiece. Even my uncle, who had been initially skeptical of the whole thing, couldn't help but chuckle as he got caught in a particularly intricate web of yarn. Eventually, we all made it out of the yarn labyrinth, slightly disheveled but thoroughly entertained. As we sat down to finally enjoy the cookies, Aunt Linda beamed with pride at her creation, saying, "I guess I got a little carried away." My uncle, still trying to remove a stray piece of yarn from his sock, quipped, "Linda, I think you might have knit yourself a career in interior design. Or at least, a new kind of thread count for the living room." And with that, the whole room erupted in laughter, knowing full well that an ordinary visit to Aunt Linda's would never be quite so ordinary again.